You know how I feel. 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 You know how I feel.
5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's see what we got. There we go. Okay, cool. I am live. Sweet. Welcome, everybody. Those of you that are here. If you're watching for the first time, this sucks. The software crashed right before I went live, and it was the hitting live button that made it crash. So I apologize for the delay. This has been a while since we've been this late, and I really apologize. Tara is going to be joining me in a second. She is taking these, she's part of a yoga study group that also meets around this time. So she's going to be out here any second. And everything is totally fine in my personal life right now. Everything is fine. But it's just been busy in my personal life. So I hope I don't seem too out of it tonight. But there's just been a lot going on, but it's all good. There's nothing like bad. But if I seem a little bit not myself, it's just been a lot going on. So, but it's all good. Tonight was a sort of funny class because like the moment that I did the promo for the class and came up with the idea, I regretted it. Or like the moment I put it out and made it public, I regretted it. But what I thought we would do is I wanted to talk a little bit about core hooping because this Thursday night class is meant to help people who are just getting into hooping, but also people that are, with it. And so we have to hit different marks. And so tonight what I thought we would do is talk a little bit about angle hooping. And then I thought nobody would watch if I just said it was angle hooping. And then I just sort of thought about, well, what videos of mine kind of show off some skills of angle hooping, or not show off, but display some skills of angle hooping and what would make them fun. And so this video that I'm basing tonight's class on is called Baxter Goes House, or I titled it Baxter Goes House, and it came out in 2012. And I go on and on about this all the time, but videos used to be different back then. Like it used to be that, like a hoop video could change your life. And it didn't even have to get a lot of views. It just had to get the right views. And so this was one that I put out, and I never thought that it would take off the way it did. But one of the reasons why was in 2012, there were a lot of off-body was really showing up. And so there was like a group of people that had all these like old school core hooping skills. And I think that they appreciate this video because it was kind of like, oh, the core skills are still here. That's not what I meant it as. I was just having fun hooping the house music. But that's, maybe some of the feedback and why. I've never had a video go viral. I'm not an internet sensation in any stretch. But by my standards, like for somebody that never goes viral, this one, was one of my more popular ones. So anyway, I'm really hoping that you guys can hear me, and I hope that everything is going smooth with the sound. I don't want to talk too much because I want to just get straight into this. And there's a little bit of, there we go. Okay. So I really hope that you guys can hear me. I think you can. It says you can. So I thought that I would... So what we're going to do tonight is Now, I cannot play the sound of this. This was a house track, and so it's called, Baxter Goes House. If you really want to hear it with the music, I like it a lot. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go through some of the different techniques that I'm doing here. One of the things I used to do in my videos is I would show the techniques, like that I was going to be trying to, tour with or travel with. And so this is me in sort of shoulder angle. Now, I don't know how much will be here, but we're going to talk a little bit about angle hooping. And then this is neck hooping. And neck hooping is something that can for you beginners out there, it can be a really good way to feel rhythm through the whole body on a vertical plane. And it, I really can't say enough about it, as these are a little bit of paddles. No, we're not going to talk too much about paddles tonight. This is footwork. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Maybe I could speed up a little bit here, but we're going to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about these sort of off-body movements. Jen in the last class was talking about maybe more flowy things. Sometimes it's like you just taking it off body with something super simple can be a really help. No, this is earth angle, and we're going to be talking a little bit about earth angle tonight. And I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. And I'm kind of trying to give you, I know that this is, I think I'm feeling a little self-conscious that we're watching my video to talk about, but there's a lot of I thought maybe this would keep us from getting a little burnt out. Now those are cradle breaks and cradle folds. I'll bring that back just 1 second there. So if this is kind of an Ann Humphreys type inspired move. No, I didn't go far enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is a sort of Ann inspired move. So this is called a cradle break, or some sort of cradle where I'm coming in, I'm cradling it, and then I fold it out of there. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And let me make sure we're not missing anything. This is just more sky angle. So tonight's class is going to be a little bit more, it's going to be physical. But hopefully I will try to, pace it in such a way that you're not destroyed and blown away. So let me close that out. And let's get going there. And there. Yeah, well, the music is house music, so if you hate house music, you're not gonna like tonight's class. But if you're looking to get your heart rate up, or you're not looking to get your heart rate up, but you think you probably should get your heart rate up, tonight's class will probably be your type of class. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. Tonight, all the songs are going to be, hey Danielle, by the way. Tonight, all the songs are going to be coming from my iTunes. And because of where we're going tonight, I'm going to sort of start us off with a little bit faster sway than normal. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. I went silent for that sway, y'all. I didn't have anything to say, so I just decided to not say anything. Okay, so we're going to move into some good old-fashioned house music. So tonight, when I teach these tech classes, generally, I just put music on and just sort of let that music go. And that's sort of what we're going to do tonight. And hopefully this music will not get me kicked off. Okay. So you're going to go ahead and grab your hoop. We're going to start off with core hooping and waist hooping. Oh, hey, Casey. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start tonight. Wow. We're going to go ahead and start tonight by warming up the core, because the bulk of our framework for tonight's video, and I need to put something else in there actually, because I do want us to talk about angle hooping, but we're going to get to a few things first here. And one of the things that I start off in that video doing, and that I was definitely trying to demonstrate, was the kind of fun that you could have with two-bird movement with your arms, with your legs. So if I had two-bird movement going, that just meant that my hands were moving, they were doing something, right? And so what I was trying to do, and what I recommend to you to do now, is to try and hit a beat with your hands, whatever that is, right? Now, we all dance in different ways, and I know that there's a rumor that guys dance with their hands more than girls do, but whatever. But I think if you just find a beat and bring that beat into your hands, whether that's a snap or whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. This is my two birds, right? And then now what we're going to work on is trying to turn that, add a step to that, right? So that as my hands are moving, I'm thinking about what my feet are doing. No, like if you're like Tara, you're already doing that. But not everybody grew up with a movement background. So what I'm going to try to do is, like as I was doing in the video and stuff like that, is to move my hands, but to also let my feet tie into that movement as well, right? I think one of the things that hoopers sometimes can forget is that the body warms up, right? So like even right now, the body is warming up for us. It's warming up for you, right? And so what felt tight before might not feel tight later. Okay, big breath in. Oh, sorry, that's not what I want. All right, sorry, that's not what we wanted. Hopefully this doesn't get kicked off here. Okay, so we're on our waist now. Now, there's another concept that I was working on in that video, and you can kind of see it at the beginning, and I think it might be a good way to sort of open us up tonight. Now, tonight's going to be a workout, but I'll keep it under 45 minutes, I promise. But one of the techniques that I was doing in that exercise was activating, or in that video, was activating my feet, okay? And one of the things that I used to do was, I would call it foot walking. It was really based on this thing called crip walking that became gangster walking, that became a thing that I tried to teach myself how to do. But if you've ever seen James Brown perform, James Brown does this kind of foot walk thing, and I'm sure it has a name, I just don't know it. But the idea is that I'm gonna like shift maybe my heels over and then bring the front of the feet over, and then I'm back here and I bring that over, right? And so if I'm in like a sort of like house vibe like this, then both of my feet can kind of, if I've got the knees for it, be careful everybody, but if I've got the knees for it, then I can feel activation happening from the feet, right? Like I can feel how like a twist through the foot. This is me like if I did the full James Brown and just sort of walked across the room, right? And it might be easier with certain shoes on or no shoes, I don't know. Right? What? Okay. Sorry, y'all. Tara's telling me this is going to be her challenging class, which that may very well be. There we go. Okay. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about angle hooping, and I'm just going to let the music go here for a second. Angle hooping is created by Angle hooping is created by up and down and left and right? And the repetition of house music and this kind of beat can help you maintain the necessary RPMs, the necessary movement to keep angles going. That's usually what hoopers fall short on. They think it's a technique thing. Usually it's just an energy thing. So like I can pick up a song like this, bring that sort of some aspect of the beat with me, and its regularness will help me do this, okay? So I'm gonna settle into that. I've got my footwork, starting to open up. And then I'm gonna use some visualization to help me pitch my body down and to pitch the hoop down. And the visualization I'm gonna use is just turning the plane. I'm pushing down when the hoop is in my day side. And I'm pushing up when the hoop is in my night side. From the front here, I'm gonna put, nice T, I'm gonna push down, right, and then pop up. Now we're all built differently, and we all have different bodies, and we all have different ways we normally move. Some of you may not be used to a sort of up and down movement, right? That's kind of how I danced naturally anyway, but some of you may not be. But I promise that the more up and down you get, and that can usually be carried just enough by your feet, the more up and down you get, the easier it will be, okay? So I'm moving up and down, I'm reaching over, and I'm pushing up. This is going to sound like maybe this is too far, but I swear, beginners, the earlier you start to move your hands in all forms of core hooping, the better, okay? What'll happen is I will have been teaching students, and they'll have this really flowy two-bird stuff. The moment we go into angles, it's back to T-Rexing, right? Fight that, or fight through that, okay? Don't fight it, fight through it. So when I'm down here in these angles, it doesn't matter what my hands are doing, but I want to be aware of them, right? And then, actually, let's just take a breather break just for a second so you can catch your breath, because I know this is going to be. But the main thing that video was supposed to show for me, or one of the things I liked about it, was jumping around all over the floor. And what happens with angle hooping is you'll have to get to a certain level where you'll be good enough to kind of keep it going. But you don't have to get that far over that level before you can put wheels on it. And when you put wheels on something, it means that you move it all the way around, and it helps your core hooping. It helps your angle hooping. I'll bring music back, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, okay? So this is me if I'm doing angles again. This is me doing angles again, right? But I'm being rooted. I'm staying right here, right? But what if I start to step right or step left, or just realize that with every single step I take, right, that's an opportunity to put push on the hoop. One of the things that, Casey, I'm glad you like the music. One of the things that hoopers do when they're first learning angles is they push back into the extension, the straight line of your legs. You don't want to do that, right? If I keep my legs bent, then I can always go up and down, right? Instead of sending my all my weight back into my extension, I'm staying flexed. All right. So this is putting it on wheels, and this just means you start to move around. And you're going to keep this core rhythm with you, right? Like you're going to feel control. You always start from a place of control, right? So I'm going to feel like a certain control with the hoop. Like I could stop, I could keep the hoop going. The moment I feel that, then I'm going to start to put it on wheels. I could look up. All right, we'll stay here just a little bit longer, and then we'll take a break. So let's say that I feel like I'm an intermediate angle hooper. Like I'm getting there, I want to be there, I want to be more badass angle hooper. The more I start to move my hands, the more things that are recruited into the dance make it just look more fluid, right? Because what happens when you're a hooper is the audience or the people watching you can see you unlock, and it sort of points out your locks more than if you had never picked up a hoop in the first place, right? One of the ways to open all these locks, I guess we'll go ahead and come up to the shoulders now. Come up. Now in shoulder hooping, this putting it on wheels thing really helps, right? I think I played this already. Okay, I hope you guys are still with me here. We're going hard tonight. This is rooted shoulders. This is me moving my feet while I'm in shoulders. And you'll be surprised once you start to put your shoulder hooping on wheels, as I was talking about, how much easier it becomes and how easier it is to change the pace of the hoop, to slow it down if you want, or to speed it up. Good.
Don't walk around here like mad. Little long high heels in the bag. Capable by the service racks. $50,000 champagne tax. I was DJing, spinning my room groove. You know me, hands up, check 1, 2. 1, 2, dance, 2, 2, shoes move. See you like honeydew, what it do. Shoot me through, I can read you. Look like something I can make a beat to. Be it soon, by noon. About to scoop you with a spoon. Sonic boom, monsoon, guitar string, 2, brand new pickup shot. Slow like stew in a crock pot. Not pop, not rock, not hit enough. Not pop, not rock, not hit enough. We drive a
So now that we're up here on the shoulders, this class is definitely going to be tiring. But now what I want you to do is to see if you can make this connection of putting the hoop on wheels. Well, actually, let's try this first. We're going to see if we can just move into an angle first. And I'm going to, actually, you know what? I want to change that. Sorry, guys. I want to put this a different way. Because one of the things that I do in the beginning of that video, and it can be a great way to learn angle hooping at the shoulders and control of it. And one of the ways to do that is with neck hooping. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's hard to do with a mic on, but the idea is that you're going to move the hoop around. I'm going to take my mic off so I don't kill you guys. I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but the hoop is going around my neck, and what you're going to try to do is get the hoop. What you're going to try to do is see if you can use your body's movement, not your neck so much, but your body's movement to create a current going around, right? So I'm using my thigh, my legs, and all of that to create kind of a current. And it will, because you're using because you're using your neck, I don't know if you guys could hear me through that last section, but because you're using your neck, it's not going to be super stable, right? But the idea, what will happen is that as you develop neck hooping, you develop the up and down rhythm, and that's what makes shoulder angles so much easier. It is really hard to shoulder your way through angle hooping, and what makes it so much, and that's what we do sometimes when we're here, right? Like if we're in a horizontal lake position, that might be what's happening. You can't really cheat like that. When it comes to angles, you really need consistent up and down to keep the hoop tight around you. So I'm here, and if I wanted to bring it into, an angle, I'm up on my neck. If I want to bring it to an angle, I got to start bringing some up and down in. Good, T. And Tara's doing a good job. Like, she doesn't suffer from focus fist, but focus fist, some of you might want to look at your hands and just make sure that you're not gripping your hands really tightly. Sometimes when you focus, okay, so once I know we're running kind of low on time here, but if I can get the hoop onto my neck, well, actually, let's feel that first and see if you can feel any kind of flow with that, and to feel flow with something, you would be moving your hands, you would be putting it on wheels, right? So if I'm in shoulder, or if I'm on my neck, and I want to start to feel flow with this, I'm going to start to move my hands, and then I'm going to start to move my feet, and then see if I can kind of like tie those things together. And realistically, like one move might work really well and be no problem, and another move might feel super awkward. The moment the hoop starts to stall on you though, find some bounce. Find some bounce in your heels, find some bounce in your knees. Keep bounce. Good. Now, if you haven't already, we'll take a sort of a break and let me add this in. If you have not already, if you want to bring the hoop down to the shoulders to start rocking it, I hate it when people say things are easy that aren't easy, but it's not too hard. What you'll do is you'll bring a shoulder to one of your ears. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it will matter to you, but try both of them at first. And if it's going around your neck, you're going to bring a shoulder to your ear, and that's going to sort of intercept the hoop going around your neck, and it's going to roll it onto your shoulders. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So if I'm going like this, I'm on my neck. Any shoulder I pick, I'm just going to use my left shoulder, right? And I drop it, it's going to go up, and then it's going to bring me right down. Now, if I've got the same bounce, watch what happens here. Hopefully the reception's good enough, or the signal's good enough. But this is, watch, I've got a pretty steady piace going right now. I'm going to drop my shoulder in. And that's a pretty steady piace. Now, that's a totally different rhythm on my part, right? But it looks, it looks pretty consistent. And what is consistent in both of these ways, whether I'm up here, right, or whether I'm down here, is that there's up and down, right? You see that? There's bounce. Now we're all, we've all got different, because of injuries and because of life, we all have different sort of cardio things that we're good at, right? Like I'm pretty good at cardio. I'm just good at it naturally, right? I can distance run or whatever. But some people are more strength people than cardio people. So if you need to take a break, take a break. But I'm back here on the neck, and then if I want to bring it down to the shoulders at any time, I'm just going to bring a shoulder up and drop it back down. give you a little bit of pointers. The way you move your hands, we keep talking about that tonight, but the way you move your hands in angle hooping really helps more than you realize. We so want to tuck them in. Focus wants us to tuck them in like this, but if you can push them out and even flatten the back some, like if I wanted to go way over into my angle, right? If I can sort of flatten my back or flatten my shoulders out or feel these side points. Nice. So Tara's doing angle chest hooping right now. I'm always nervous about teaching angle hooping for this much because I don't want to burn people out too much. Hey, Jessica. But if I'm burning you guys out, I'm sorry. Use this as your workout tomorrow. The replay will be up tomorrow. It definitely helps to have a bigger one. I don't know if it helps to have a lighter hoop. I'm one of the old schoolers. I do not recommend weighted hoops. I don't think anybody uses them in hoop dance, but the exercise hoops, stay away. I don't know about that. I'm not so sure that's a great idea. But bigger definitely helps. Bigger helps a lot. In fact, one of the things that hoopers don't always understand is that in movement anyway, there are levels and there are progressions that you just cannot rush. And a big hoop will help you learn some of these like rhythms, as we call it in the hoop path, that a just small hoop just won't. Physics is getting in the way. But once you learn the rhythm of the big hoop, that's why we call them teacher hoops or learner hoops, is once you learn that rhythm, then you can totally translate it usually into a smaller hoop. That's no problem. Have two hoops. Buy a big hoop. Trust me. You'll stay in love with hooping longer, maybe. Okay. So we were talking a little bit about angles, and I just wanted to move into sky, or at least barrel rolling. And so this is when, if my day is in front of me, almost all the stalls that to do a stall, you have to turn with the current. Right? So a barrel roll is almost always turned with the current. I'm sure you could do some sort of anti-spin barrel roll that's probably pretty cool. But for the most part, when we're in a current and we want to barrel roll, we're going to turn with it. So if my hoop is going to the left, I'm turning to the left. And what helps is if I step back into my night. So this is my day, that's my night. And so if I'm in an earth angle here, I can step into my night, like turn into my night, pop it up. Tara's doing a good job there. Yeah, I was until I pointed it out. No. So let's go back. I want to tie this in because if you're a beginner, I don't want you to get too lost here because you can have big breakthroughs that you don't realize are breakthroughs, but as a hoop teacher of a lot of people, I realize them. So I don't want to lose a point here. If you are figuring out how to neck hoop and connect your core ritmo, your core rhythm, that's really good. Okay, that's a huge step, and you might not realize it right now, but you're giving yourself this huge foundation to build core skills on, right? So that would be this neck hooping thing. Then if you're starting to get this shoulder hooping thing, don't get discouraged. You're probably, if you're like 99% of people that are learning shoulder hooping earth angle, it's going to run out of gas. The hoop is going to start to sort of slowly go. And one of the reasons for that is that when we hoop, on a horizontal, when we hoop in lake, we're used to like being able to roll our shoulders and being able to move things. When you are in angles, it's a lot harder to do that because you're pushing the hoop up into the air. So think about it this way, like what would make it easier to push anything up in the air? Your legs, right? And so if you are using your legs, so I'm gonna turn with the current, and I'm going to barrel roll into my sky angle. Let's see, I want to do it so that I'll be facing the camera. So I'm going to pivot into night, come back here. Now this is a big one, okay? I am in no way, nice. I'm in no way like picking on anyone or telling you you're doing something wrong, but I want to offer a different way to do this. So if I'm here and I roll in, almost everybody, the first time they do it, they T-Rex both arms. Then after they lose that T-Rex, their arms are down here, okay? That's where they probably should be or could be. What I want to invite, though, and not saying this is better, it's just different, is to bend the elbows. So instead of keeping the arms more or less, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So instead of more of like this, where my arms are staying pretty straight, I'm going to bend them just to see what happens, right? Like I'm going to bend my arms. And the thing is that in theory, it really shouldn't change that much. Yeah. So in theory, though, it really shouldn't change that much about what you're doing because the hoop is basically going around the same places. But for some people, bending your elbows even just a little bit, right, will change that. So if I'm up in sky, you should do what works, right? But this is if I keep my arms really down, and then this is me if I start to break them. Now the reason that I like to break them, and what I'm doing in that video, that's a little Saturday Night Live-ish, but what I'm doing in the video is moving my hands like in relationship to that current that I'm creating up here. Like this is anti-spin hands to current. This would be turning my hands in the same direction as the current. And then this would be pulsing. All right. I think we should probably, before we burn everybody out, if anyone is still here, I hope you're still here. But let's talk a little bit about some of the moves you can do to take a break in your core hooping. And the one that I did there, and we're just going to use this right now as a cool down right now. This is the good old-fashioned weave. In that video, and I think a lot of times people don't realize it, like if you are hooping for an audience, you don't have to blow them away with the latest, greatest, right? Like they really like your most polished stuff, and you'll be surprised. And so sometimes it can just be fun. In that video, what I was doing, I had gotten really into slapping the floor with my hoop. Like I have a floor, I can do that. So I would actually I don't know if you guys can hear it right now, but this would be like me slapping the floor with my hoop, and that's what I'm doing in that video. Because it would just be this like sort of way to kind of connect. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Yeah, this is really heavy on the workout. Okay, so back to what I was saying was nice, Carla. So if I come off the core, I can come in, I can roll, and give my core a chance to cool down. Tosses to it. And then ultimately what I can do is drop into it, and these are a little bit harder, but drop-ins are a lot easier if you know how to angle hoop. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. You don't have to do them right now if you don't want to. This has been a really tough class, but I'm here, right? A drop-in would be if I just turn with the hoop in some way and drop the hoop on me while it's in an angle. So if I can bring the hoop off, right? Good. And then I'll drop, I'll come out of that and then drop in, boom. slap the floor, slap the floor, slap the floor, drop in. Now here's one way that you can do it if you want to take the scary out of this. Nice. If you want to take the scary out of it, you could grip the hoop with like a samurai type grip. You could take if you wanted to, like everybody, like the first time, for your whole life, your body thankfully has been protecting you from flying things coming at it, right? So sometimes this could be cool you have to sort of like work around that or subvert that instinct to like freak out. But if you feel like your body just won't let you let go to drop into the drop in, what you can do is drop in slowly. Nice, Jessica. I can pop in, and then as I'm in, I'll give the hoop a push, right? So like, let's say that I just want to try this right now. I'm gonna do it with two hands, right? I'm gonna give the hoop a push. Boom. You see that? Boom. I'm here. Turn with it and give it a push. Now, it does help to imagine where it's gonna go on your back. In fact, you could even start it here, right? Like, so let's go ahead and make contact. So I'm gonna go to the left, right? So I'm making contact with my left shoulder, right? You could do whatever current works for you. But I'm gonna go ahead and make contact there so that when I push, it's gonna roll off of my arm and onto my back, right? Right, see that? Okay, so then if I turn with it and I bring that up and down that we've been working on all class, I should. Yeah, we'll save. Anyway, I hope you guys were able to stay with me through this class. We'll be back on Monday. I'm going to play something just to kind of cool things down. A little bit of free hoop, but we'll definitely slow it up after that. Is this too slow or is this okay? Okay. I may have slowed it down too much. I'm sorry about that, guys. Nice. Nice, Lisa. I'm glad. everybody for joining us tonight. We went kind of hard in class, a super athletic class tonight. I think we're a little whooped from it, so we're chilling it out for the free hoop. Thank you guys so much. I will be back Monday with a class. I will be doing a myth and flow type class, I think.
I'm in love with this shit, I got a passion. I've been up late insomniacing. All these late nights, I'm an addict. I've been coming something like a savage. I done found myself when I was lacking. Thinking about the finish to be having. Just gotta let it go and push the gas. No regrets from the passion, my ex was a bad bitch. I don't really think I got a reason. Bitches always turn another season. I just took another one to feed it. I just took another one to feed it, yeah. I've been riding around on my mission, yeah. Do it on my own in the feelings, yeah. Die so cold, my brain is freezing, yeah. Usually you'll find me in my song, but your girl, she just hit me on my phone. I just told her no, I can't involve. Cause if I'm in my feelings, I get lost. I just came to feeling some type of way. I just put two things inside of my drink. I just pulled up a thought in my brain.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Jennifer.
That's all I need. I just came to feeling some type of way. I just put two things inside of my drink. I just pulled up a thought in my brain. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me. I just wasted thoughts and patience. All your shaded colors faded. Powder, swerve, fluid, water, hydro, planet, savage, monster. I don't really think I got a reason. Bitches always turn another season. I just took another one to feed it. I just took another one to feed it, yeah. I've been riding around on my mission, yeah. Do it on my own in the feelings, yeah. Die so cold, my brain is freezing, yeah. Yeah. Usually you'll find me in my song, but your girl, she just hit me on my phone. I just told her no, I can't involve. Cause if I'm in my feelings, I get lost. I just came to feeling some type of way. I just put two things inside of my drink. I just pulled up a thought in my brain. I'm just doing me and that's all I need. I just came to feeling some type of way. I just put two things inside of my drink. I just pulled up a thought in my brain. I'm just doing me. I'm just doing me. That's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I need.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.